Well, hello again, everyone. It's Nick Michalak and Steve Frazier.
Hello again.
It's Child's Play 2 from Much Request.
Yeah, we did. We actually had quite a few people that said, hey, do part 2, because apparently part 1 was such a hit.
Yeah, so we're happy to oblige here, and hope you enjoyed. So, guys, if you have your own copy of Child's Play 2, you can move the timestamp over to 0, and we'll give you a countdown to sync it up. So, in 3, 2, 1, play.
This is like pre-menu here, so I got the old school Universal.
Yeah,
we're watching the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's weird because watching this, like, I only ever seen this intro with Back to the Future Part 3. I don't think I ever saw another film from Universal in this year, 1990, with the 75th anniversary opening, which is very odd to me.
I feel like I've seen it a whole bunch, but I don't know. I watch a lot of, like all the Oscar pictures and whatever, so I feel like there had to have been...
Maybe Dark Man. I don't know for certain. I think that was released that same summer.
I think it was also 89, yeah.
1990.
Oh, 90.
90. This is 90. Just about almost exactly 2 years from the release of the first film.
Okay.
In a November release date.
Oh, all right then.
And, forgot to mention something when we were doing the first commentary, because we were going to mention stuff about the supposed remake, and we kind of lost track of ourselves.
Yeah, we were gonna walk it back a little bit and talk about that, and then as we get the burned everything but the eyeball image here, and the ominous Shy City.
Yeah, I was going to say Chicago license plate there. Illinois license plate.
Like, that's a great look right there.
They're probably just the same prop for the first one you reused.
Anyway, so about this remake.
Yes.
A cocktail onion for an eyeball there. I don't know. Like, it's so where there's the Metra that goes right to my town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, it says Metra on there.
Yeah.
Fun one. Alex Vincent first billing.
Yeah, this is Lake Street and Canal, I believe.
That sounds about right. I feel... Well, first of all, you didn't have to remake the first one, because the first one's great.
Yeah.
And nobody ever should remake anything.
Unless the original actually sucks. And you can have ways to improve on an idea, but then there's other ways than doing a straight remake of something. You can always take an inspiration and weave your own idea from it to make a richer idea, possibly.
Yeah. So in the brand new one that is in production right now, perhaps you've seen some of the stills.
Yeah. Teaser poster.
Sure. Yeah, the little cartoon gimmick that they got going out right now about the the doll being released next summer or whatever. They went back to the original naming on it. It's still going to be Chucky, I think, but here's our old friend Kevin Yeager.
Yes.
The man who has been robbed of an Oscar.
Yes. And Grammerville, fantastic composer, who did the score for The Crow a few years later.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this score is kind of like, but...
Yeah, this one's not...
Overall, he's a great guy. So in the original screenplay, it was not good guy dolls, they were buddy dolls.
Yeah.
And that got changed to good guy when they made that. So now they're going back to buddy. So now it's a buddy doll again, which I guess is fine. And there's our good guy battery that aren't even in there all the way. The new Chucky looks just like this, though.
Yeah.
At least the striped shirt and the overalls and the red hair and the...
Yeah.
I mean, it's all based on that original treatment that the screenplay guy wrote, back in 1986 or whatever.
Yeah.
What did that say? Playpal Toys. So apparently that's the parent company that they came up with. All right then.
Oh well. Despite the fact that all they market and make in this place is the damn doll.
I mean, and I don't find that to be. Oh, see, here's our good.
Yeah.
They take the story here. The mom's now in a psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
The police have denied everything. Like,
yeah.
How unbelievable is that? It's so dumb.
Because apparently they were supposed to get Catherine Hicks back for a scene in a courtroom to start off the film, but they didn't have the budget for it, despite the fact that she's actually on set because she was married to Kevin Yeager at the time.
Is that a fact?
She's there the entire time the thing's being filmed, so they cut that from the script. Chris Sarandon was supposed to come back, but they cut it for budgetary reasons.
This thing was kind of snake bit from the beginning.
Yeah. And a lot of people will wonder why the original film was MGM, everything else was Universal, because apparently at the time, because MGM's always in a risk of going out of business.
Well,
they were going to be supposedly bought by another company that wanted to do just family-friendly films, so they sold off the rights to the Child's Play to Universal, but the buyout never happened, so they ended up losing something and not gaining anything on the other end of it.
Didn't Ted Turner have the MGM library?
Yeah, colorizing stuff in the 80s and shit.
I think this guy is somebody, but... So they're doing like a demo, and this guy's like the CEO of the company? Is that...
Yeah, because apparently they took... at least from the synopsis I read last night, I didn't get much of this from the film. Apparently they took the mangled up doll from the first film because they want to prove that the doll, there's nothing wrong with the doll.
Right.
So they took out the mangled up, burned up piece of crap, cleaned it up, and they're refurbishing it.
That makes sense. That's exactly what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
And then this happens.
Yes.
So we got some Jason Lives shit right here.
Yeah.
And some shocker. A little shocker. So now he's going to get up and walk with a limp. Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
It's not as bad as the electroshock guy in the first film.
Yeah.
That was gruesome. It's interesting, 2 years later, he hasn't had a growth spurt or nothing.
Really? He looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Fortunate for them, then. The next film is a different story.
Well, the next film was only a few years after this, I think.
No, we were talking before.
I know.
Right. The next film was set like 8 years later.
Sure, but it wasn't 8 years later in real life.
It was 9 months later.
So they had to 9 months.
So they recast it from him to a teenager.
So I feel like the plot line that everybody's in denial and they're trying to make these people look crazy just doesn't work for me. Like,
yeah,
I know I live in a world of a 24-hour news cycle, and everything is news all the time, and there's social media and everything is out there. But I still feel like you couldn't cover this up that quickly. I mean, it's not like JFK.
Yeah.
Where the national government had to intervene for a cover-up.
Sweep it under the rug, go away.
Sorry, we're not allowed to talk about that. He's got a Chucky lapel pin that is like in one of those enamel pins that's all the hot rage right now.
I mean, yeah, the young guy in the suit looks like proper 80s yuppie guy.
Yeah, 100%. So does that guy. There's something about this couple that really drives me nuts.
Yeah, because I was watching this, like, the father I've seen in other stuff, but just like, I feel like everything I've seen him in, he plays like an asshole. He just has that kind of face.
He does have an asshole face.
Kind of a Terry Kaiser, Friday the 13th Part 7 feel to him, you know?
A little bit.
He's got that.
My red flag, whatever, goes off right here. Because I don't know if, A, the shrink would be telling this story to the adopted parents. I also don't think that the dad rolling his eyes and asking questions like, is this kid really, up to snuff?
Yeah.
Are are we qualified to take care of a boy? Like, I feel like at any point here, they would be like, you're excused from the jury. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's just... We'll pass. We'll wait for the next one.
Right. It's like, for the sake... And then they take him home today? Yeah. It's like, for the sake of this story, there's only one child up for adoption and only one couple available to adopt. It's like they went to the store and picked out a puppy.
Yeah, it's like you're not picking them up from the pound. I mean, there are certain proceedings here, you know? I mean, we find out that they've got other foster kids, so they're well-oiled into the system, but I don't think you just, like, walk out after 5 seconds with a kid. There's a little bit more involved.
And this is supposed to be our near-death experience here.
Yeah.
And we get the good reverse image. Yeah, that's awesome. I do find it interesting that they decided to make... here's a good street that looks like Illinois, actually.
Yeah.
I would buy this as a suburban Chicago.
Looks like northern suburbs.
Yeah.
Type of thing, yeah.
I find it interesting that they said, oh, well, we'll just come up with the idea that the dolls were made in Chicago as well. Like, the whole operation is here.
Yeah, just...
You know, there's no...
For plot convenience.
Yeah, don't you think, knowing that, if we're going back to the first one, that at some point somebody would have been like, oh yeah, this is one of those dolls that's made down the road.
What do you think of this decor?
It's so Victorian. This is like, you know, old lady Victorian decor in a non-Victorian home.
Especially that upholstery. The flower upholstery.
Who has floral upholstery and the border? The floral border that's only 3 feet from the ceiling? Like, normally the border is like...
they couldn't decide on one thing, so we got two-tone paint and we got wallpaper and then we got other stuff going on.
And what makes it even worse is that this is probably a set, like a soundstage, which means somebody dressed this set to look like this.
Yeah.
Like, if they just, like, went into somebody's home, which I imagine is cheaper than building a whole set. You go,
maybe.
You know, hey, Ethel, can we borrow your bedroom for 2 weeks? I feel like that's cheaper than buying all this crap, because Ethel's already got it in her house.
You got to pay the engineer and the architect and the carpenter and the woodworking people and everyone else.
The prop people.
Art direction. More manpower involved from the ground up.
He's not any taller.
No.
Like, it's almost like they filmed this right away.
They cryogenically froze him after the first movie.
Which makes me wonder
thaw you out for the sequel.
If they didn't start filming it, like, really quickly after.
Well, it came out, the first one was 88, and this comes out 2 years later. I mean,
I feel like they probably went fairly quickly into production.
Somewhere, yeah, maybe, yeah.
So this gal's only been here for 3 weeks. And after 3 weeks, they decide they want another one?
Jeez.
Like, it really is like a pound.
They're empty nesters, is what they are, I'm sure.
I guess.
If I had a couple kids and I was like, they're not even old enough to be empty nesters, to be honest with you. That happens when you're like 50, 60 years old or something.
Well, I mean...
It's like, get a puppy. It'll be cheaper.
I feel like that's what they did. Like, there's only 2 kids here, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
The one that's been there for 3 weeks, and then Andy in his airplane ugly sweater.
I think in a moment we'll get to it. Let the film explain itself.
This woman's been in stuff before.
Probably something, yeah. Probably
and
some TV or something.
She looks really familiar, and I can't place it. I like that he just steps on a box. Oh, and then conveniently... No running in the hallway.
Where's your pass? Screw your pass. Yeah, so they've had other kids that come through and gone out.
Yeah, but the room is still decorated for a 10-year-old.
Yes. And
now,
they just found they're getting a 10-year-old today.
Right, and they were like, oh yeah, we got toys from other kids.
Yeah.
Why do these trucks always honk at everything?
And
his just umbrella goes, and he's like, fuck that, I don't want it anymore.
Fuck off.
Like, the umbrella's blowing down the street, sir. I get it, maybe you don't want your umbrella, but you're not littering.
Maybe I'll load some crap from your trunk.
Yeah. I mean, it's your own damn fault.
Why you got all this fucking junk in here?
He's a hoarder.
It's a fucking hoarder.
And all this stuff can't be work stuff because they only make one damn thing at this place.
As we see in the climax, that's all they make.
That's all they make. So what are all these other toys?
Of these fucking things. Oh, he's got the old car phone.
I love a car phone.
Yes.
He's got a Halliburton. Is this the same guy? Oh wait, have you seen Texas Chainsaw 2 with Dennis Hopper?
It's been a long time. I need to revisit it.
I feel like this is the same guy that's in that opening scene in the pickup truck.
Much more, the opening sequence much more recently does seem familiar in that way.
The bright lights, big titties, prank phone call to the radio station, and ultimately gets murdered. This might be the same guy. Are you checking on this?
I'm checking. I'm checking.
We are going to be. I think we're going to be doing some Chainsaw later on coming up.
I got the guy's name. Yeah, let's check it here.
If it's not him, it looks very much like him. And oh look, this one's still alive. So they shot Charles Lee Ray as Chucky in the face, the head, in the heart. The heart blood blew all over the wall.
Yes.
He's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lightning happens, and all of a sudden, Charles Lee Ray is back to life.
Yeah, I was reading synopses for these sequels, and it gets a lot more contrived we see some contrived ways, but the way they keep trying to bring him back after he definitively is dead at the end of each film is very extremely contrived.
Why are there Ruffles potato chips on the same shelf as the vodka?
Why not?
That makes no sense to me.
Alright. No, he was not in Texas Chainsaw 2.
Well, he looks very similar to that guy.
He was on Miami Vice. And L.A. Law, like one episode.
Well, you know how these people do. They get one episode of this and that.
And Clear and Present Danger with Harrison Ford. Yeah. And so on and so forth. He's a regular on Ally McBeal.
I never watched
it, so I don't know. Just for anyone who has a clue. No, nothing.
This is not a rain machine at all, is it? It's raining on only. It's kind of a neat little shot there in silhouette. Probably wouldn't be that hard to pull off. He does have some fun dialogue.
Yeah.
Chucky does in this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna come to find out here that there's a lot of convenient. I go where the doll goes where the story goes,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah. You got the gun from where?
Great question. Maybe the briefcase? Maybe it's a toy gun?
Okay, it must be. Oh, that's a classic there. We're doing Black Christmas.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
Figure I'll let the cat out of the bag. The Black Christmas.
yeah, coming soon. We're gonna be doing Black Christmas.
Yeah. So.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Cellophane death. Look at that creepy photo of the dad.
He looks like a fucking mass murderer right there.
That's the worst.
Chucky can possess him. It'll be a perfect fit.
How does the doll know where this kid's at? Like, okay, I get it. He read it on the briefcase, on the file.
Yeah.
How did that guy get it? That guy would have no knowledge.
Well, he had to make a call over to someplace or whatnot. Have that phone call thing, asking to talk to Andy, but it's like, well, Andy's not here anymore. Well, where is Andy? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, why would he?
I brushed over the scene when I watched it before. It's a little too rapid fire getting to these things. That's why the movie's only 84 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean, they really tried to cut to the chase.
A little too much.
But at the same time, like, that man who is the executive assistant to the CEO of the Buddy Doll, or whatever they call this
Company,
thing,
yeah.
the company, both of these people would have no working knowledge of where this kid ended up.
No.
Now, I get that they may have some vested interest in the kid because it was a giant PR nightmare, and they covered it up and whatever. But
Police involved and stuff, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the state of Illinois makes it illegal to disclose information like where
About minors.
about minors and where they're fosterly located.
Yes, I'm sure there is.
Even in 1989 or
Yes.
90. Speaking of creepy photos on the wall, who would hang that?
They got some roosters and that's nice.
The visuals are great.
In a lot of cases, they are. In some places, they use these weird wide-angle lenses that make everything look a little bit exaggerated and kind of comedy film-esque to me.
Yeah.
They pop in here every so often, just kind of were driving me nuts before.
And I do like, we didn't really talk about it that much in the first one, about how Yeager, as the movie went on, the dolls became more human in face, because Charles Lee Ray was taking over the doll. And,
The longer he stayed in the doll, the more human it became.
Right, and so they, it changed up the look of the doll.
Yeah, because I was noticing watching this, like the complexion looks a little more fleshy in this one.
Right, and so the Chucky doll here looks significantly different than the whatever that other one's name was. Tommy?
Tommy doll.
Okay, so I get it. This one's Chucky, that one's Tommy. They look different because Chucky is developed. But he's not developed. He burned and got shot through the heart, and they rebuilt him from scratch.
They refurbished him. Yeah.
So when you rebuild him from scratch...
The only thing they kept was the guts of it.
He's going to look like Tommy.
Yeah.
They should be twins.
Yes.
They're not twins. No. And that woman has fucking ducks on her ugly sweater. Can we get a shot of this sweater, please? I want to see these geese that are on there. Please, sir, pan to the right.
Pan the camera. Oh. Have to wait later, maybe.
So, I don't know if I've ever complained about it before, but I really hate dramatic irony where the audience knows what's going on, but the characters in the story don't.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, the premise of every Three's Company episode, where there's just some misunderstanding, and the audience is waiting where the audience is waiting for the characters to catch up. You know,
Okay.
I hate that. There's just something about it,
it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. Well, yeah, but and I get it. It's supposed to be entertaining, but it has the opposite effect on me.
And to make them look stupider.
It almost does. And so we all know now that the kid didn't break the statue.
Yeah.
We all know that there's something nefarious going on. It's going to take us another half an hour
Bare minimum.
For anyone to realize that the doll is real.
Yeah.
And I feel like that needs to happen quicker.
Yeah. Because watching this, this film has plot, but it has no story, really. You have plot. The plot is, at the heart of it, the plot is the same as the first film. Basically, Chucky needs to get to the kid so he can reincarnate himself into a human body.
There's also cows on this sweater, by the way.
At least with the first film, you had all the family drama between the mother and the son and that complexity going on about that entire thing and the emotional conflict they're dealing with. This one's just waiting for everyone to catch up with the plot, like you were saying, to figure out, to get somewhere.
Right,
you're just waiting around for stuff to happen.
And that's the story.
Yeah.
The story is, we know what happens because we saw the first movie, and the parents in this one don't.
Yeah.
They didn't see that movie.
Yeah.
So they don't know.
Yeah. And you're back to square one, all the kid's crazy. Where we've already been through all that stuff. And the kid already knows that all this, what the hell is going on here. And we know what's going on here.
And he looks a little different here.
Yeah.
Even.
It's weird. The hair seems a little off to me. There's something about the hair. I don't know, the coif, whatnot, how they styled it, just, I don't know, something seems off about it.
And he checked for the batteries, which is great, which they put in when they refurbished him at the office.
Yeah.
So that works.
Yeah.
Is that man wearing green corduroy?
I think so.
You know what I hate more than dramatic irony?
Huh.
Corduroy.
Doesn't seem comfortable to me. I don't know. I've never worn it.
How about this? I get it. There's a patch of dirt because of the swing.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just so, I don't know. Freshly covered, fresh dirt.
And retroactively looking back on the film, it's very, again, plot convenience. Chucky easily could have dumped it in the bin, in the trash bin. He could have thrown it into the street or something. Could have thrown it in the back alley, anywhere else except buried right on the property where someone could potentially find it.
Charles Lee Ray was smarter than that.
He was smarter than that. He was smart enough to enact a voodoo spell to transfer his soul into a doll. He's smarter than this.
Right. He was the Lakeshore Strangler, for Christ's sake. He is pretty cute, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's when you get these shots, now he's all plasticky, but when he's actually need the articulation, he's back to fleshy, so...
Yeah, it's not consistent at all. No. And what was that weird, pan in? We know that...
Yeah. It's you're not... It's one of those weird things, it worked in the first one because you're building up a slight bit of ambiguity. This film, we already know that you don't have to do real is he or isn't he shots. We know it is because you've shown this to us already.
Yeah.
Why do you have to be subtle about these things? It's already obvious.
There's a lot about it that doesn't work the same way that it did in the first movie.
Yeah.
Because even though, I just complained about dramatic irony.
Yeah.
In the first film, you suspect and you kind of, you know that that the doll's going to come to life.
Yeah.
But you're on the same ride
right.
as the characters in the movie. At least, and see, look at that. He looks...
Because at least in the first film, you don't know his methodology of how he's going to act in this situation, so you never know when Chucky's going to do something, how he's going to act, how he's going to react, how he's going to traverse a situation. We've already got that laid out now. We know exactly what he does and how he does it and why he's doing things. You got to add... You got to capitalize on that.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, the parents are almost like the main characters here.
Yeah.
Because, like, the whole point is you're waiting for them to find out. Like, I don't really care about these two, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't buy the fact that Andy was going to get killed.
No.
By Chucky at the beginning of this movie, you know, like
no.
Like classic sequel, kill your star, and and then go on from there.
And this whole thing in the film is like he's taken enough time to tie him up and climb up on the bed and do all this stuff, and then after he wakes up, he still jaws with him for another half a minute before he starts the damn chant. He does this like 2 other times in the movie. It's more plot convenience to just stretch things out instead of Chucky just doing it and getting it over with, which he's been trying to do this whole blasted time for a movie and a half.
Now, this is a decent setup because you kind of expect right here that
like he punches him in the face.
You kind of get the fact that she's going to believe him right here and now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they just barge in. Like, this guy is a total dick.
Yeah. And why is she climbing in inside his window? Why didn't she leave her own window open?
Great face there.
I mean, it's weird, right? Reading up trivia about the next film in the franchise. Don Mancini says, "Oh, I don't know. I ran out of ideas after the second film." You obviously didn't have any ideas in the second film.
Right, you ran out of ideas after the first film.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing, really, that's keeping this movie in existence the way it is it has to be Andy.
Yeah.
Because that's the first person he revealed himself to.
That's the rules they set up to begin with.
Now.
And this is him saying that he's still becoming human. He doesn't have time. Well, sometimes there.
So, now, here's a classic us thing to do where we rewrite the story.
Yes, we do.
What if, I love what if it's revealed that because they rebuilt him, now he's stuck.
Yeah. Okay.
So all of the characters in the first one don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And he just ends up in some other house.
Yeah.
And is just generally pissed off and is a killer doll for no reason other than he's pissed off that he's stuck in the body.
Which is what this film becomes anyway.
Yeah, but
which becomes later on.
It takes it an hour to get there.
Right, exactly the point. By the time they get to that, they've wasted so much time on a bunch of nonsense. The product in that kid's hair.
Yeah, I was going to say, good hair on that kid. I like it.
It's got a Vanilla Ice thing going.
Yeah. We got a little Justin Timberlake action here on the left. The sweaters that this kid has. Wheels on the bus go round and round. You're right. Like so now you're handicapped because you have to have the doll chasing Andy.
Yes, a cat and mouse game. That's all it is now.
And the only way to dress that up is the old, the parents don't believe it.
Yeah, which is tired.
Yeah, especially because we already know the entire backstory.
Yeah.
It's that classic thing that I always complain about, like a superhero sequel where you don't have the backstory and you have to come out of the gate in 2 with 2 villains because you don't have enough of a story to tell,
Yeah, it's like Batman Returns, you gotta create 2 or 3 villains because you don't have enough story to talk with Bruce Wayne and Batman. Everyone else got to take front and center because now you got new characters you can introduce and explore and stuff.
Right. Same thing has happened with Spider-Man and all of the other. Like, I'm not really up to date on the current Marvel universe, but I'm familiar with the pattern.
Yeah.
And so here, we don't have 30 minutes or 40 minutes to tell the backstory.
Yeah.
We got to come out of the chute
with enough meat on the bone to last us 90 minutes.
And we don't have it. 3 + 3 = 6.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. She gives a Dwayne Johnson eyebrow there.
She's got it way up there.
I didn't do that.
Got just say no button on.
Did I do that? Well, yeah. This is that time.
Yeah.
Although we're not still in the Nancy Reagan era.
Yeah.
We've moved on to Bush 41 at this point. Oh, there's a lawsuit in 2018.
Yeah. Assault.
Hilarious. Here's one of your lens shots, wide angles that you didn't care for.
You can see all the blur around the edges. It's like, I don't know, just like, it just seems like bad choice. Because, I mean, speaking of Batman Returns, this guy shot Batman Returns. He shot a whole bunch of Tim Burton movies that are on. Speaking
of bad choices, she just locked the kid in the.
Yeah, that's not, that's
what?
Not, doesn't go over. I mean, what if there's a fire? Now the kid's trapped in the room and he's going to die.
Locked in the classroom.
Why don't you take the kid with you to the principal's office and have him sort it out there instead of locking the kid in here, running down there, grab him, bring him all back, and do some nonsense?
Right,
it's a contrived screenplay.
Just walk.
Right. Plot convenience.
Take him with. Yeah, you're right. You can see the blur on the edge.
Yeah.
The globe hacky or big beanbag chair or whatever that is awesome. I would have that.
Okay, now she's coming back.
But she doesn't have the principal.
What?
She's got the janitor's keys. Look at this shit.
So what did she go out for? To take a piss? Crying out loud.
Something about take a piss that I think is funny. Especially when it's involving a woman. Well, we're, I don't know, about 35 to 40 minutes into this movie.
Yeah. We ain't got, there ain't much going on here.
We're real, aside from they rebuilt him and he found Andy.
Yeah.
This, I mean, I guess we could say that this is the midpoint. It doesn't.
It's right about there.
I know times
minus credits about 82 minutes.
Timestamp wise, it's the midpoint, but structurally the midpoint. Now, the only justification I can give to that is it's the first adult. It's not the first adult that realizes he's real because the
executive guy did.
The executive guy did. So there goes that theory.
Yeah.
A bicycle pump? Looks really choppy, but it's also...
Because I'm sure there's probably like a rod right behind him that they're masking with the camera angle.
Yeah.
That's a better angle there. Don't show the
It's
feet.
more menacing, yeah.
And don't show the feet kind of hovering over the floor.
And what the close-ups, like, why...
He's stabbing where the... Smacking her with
beating her with a ruler.
It hurts.
And this dramatic shot, like the wide shot.
It's like, no. Like, okay, yeah, it's gonna hurt, but you're not gonna murder someone with a freaking ruler.
Or a bicycle pump, by the way. There's the old half pot of coffee. Cheers.
Yeah, again, like we said, these whole conversations, this whole thing is just... I mean, it's only the second film, but the execution just feels so tired of this running around in circles. We don't believe the kid's crazy stuff.
It's like...
I mean,
it's almost like Nightmare on Elm Street 2. In that you've got a whole different cast of characters. Mm-hmm. And I guess Andy is Freddy, or I don't know, maybe not. Chucky might be Freddy, but like I guess in Nightmare 2 there were no holdovers from the first one.
None.
But the house. Okay, yeah. So Andy is the house.
Okay.
And Chucky is Freddy.
Andy is Nancy's diary from the first
There
film.
you go.
There you go.
There you go. Everything else is different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a whisper of continuity.
Yeah.
But it's not really about the stuff that happened in the first one. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make it about something else.
Yeah.
But they've changed it, and it's, I don't know, it's just not...
It's one of those screenplays, the way they want to do it, because they're shackled by the rules they created in the first film for Chucky to resurrect himself into the first person that realized what he had done. So they have to do this. If they're going to continue that same plot line, they have to do this.
Well, you say that.
In terms of, they have to bring back this character of Alex to continue on the threads of the storyline if they want to continue to have Chucky have the same motivations as the first film.
Right.
So
or
they paint themselves into a corner, forcing themselves to continue the same storyline.
They did do that. However, 10 minutes ago, on a whim, I came up with a scenario that would have worked.
Throw it all out.
Right.
And just say,
you can justify anything.
Chucky's fucked anyway.
Right. He's stuck.
Yeah.
They killed him. He's stuck.
Yeah.
Guess what that means? You don't need this, Andy.
No.
You already don't have 2/3 of the rest of your cast.
Yeah.
Sarandon and Hicks.
Yeah.
They're already gone. Why bring him back?
And I'm like, if you're going to go with Alex Vincent's the actor, Andy's the character. So sorry.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep Andy, it would be good to keep the mother in there too, so you can have two characters who can work together on this whole thing. I don't know if that's going to create a better film, but I think it at least maintains a sense of something with these two characters to be connected with, and they're both in on what the hell's going on, instead of the same fucking motions all over again.
I think it would have actually been interesting to have the Sarandon keeping quiet, like the cover-up, as part of the story. You know, like maybe there's...
If you go around telling the story, you're going to get kicked off the force or something.
Right. Or, you know, have Sarandon, like, fighting to say, no, I was there, it really happened.
Yeah. Keep it even more in tune with the first film and just create new hooks for the characters to deal with. That's the way you do it. In a lot of ways, that's the way you kind of do a good sequel. It's like, you take what you did the first film and see how it affects these characters moving forward and how that ties everything back in for another story. If you're going to continue it on like that, to have this main character here do more than have him just run around in the dark.
And at this point, Chucky really has only offed a couple of people.
A pair of people, yeah.
The executive guy and then the teacher.
Yeah.
Who were... The executive was a means of getting information.
Yeah.
That one made sense to me.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. The teacher...
He didn't have to. He just killed it because he's a psychopath.
He was there.
Yeah.
Right. He's the Lakeshore Strangler.
Yeah.
He's yet to strangle anybody.
He suffocated a guy. He got close, but he didn't actually strangle anyone. He doesn't have the hands for it anymore, I guess. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah.
We don't know his modus operandi.
That's a good point. He doesn't have the hands anymore. But unlike in the first one, where the suspense is building, and the suspense is really the horror. The horror is in the unknown.
Yeah.
We're in the known now.
Yeah.
We know what's happening.
Yeah.
So
It's
classic horror, you have to up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
And have either more kills, better kills,
more gore,
right? That's the rule of a sequel.
Yeah.
When someday we'll discuss Scream, and then the rules of movies, what the rules are.
Yeah. But there's not really more kills. There's not really more gore.
There's fewer, in my opinion. I don't know if that's true.
I think there's like roughly 5 people by the end of the film that get off.
So a similar number.
Yeah. But per capita, in terms of the amount of time we've been through the film, which is 45 minutes now, is like, it's not much. You're not satisfying that quotient of like what you'd expect, like a Friday the 13th sequel, or Elm Street sequel.
Let's talk. One of the other movies that we've done was Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Mm-hmm. In that film, I love that he's stabbing the laundry with a electric blade. Like, that is hilarious, and something that like a 9-year-old would do. In Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, there was a character of the father who was an asshole.
The bastard in the nth degree.
And it took 2 scenes for all of us to absolutely hate that prick.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so, 40 minutes into the movie, when he gets murdered, you are excited as all get out.
Yeah.
That, he got his just desserts. Yeah. Okay, we're 45 minutes into this thing, and we still hate this dad, and...
Yeah. He's more of an annoyance to anyone that pisses you off. It's just like, get out of the way of the damn story. Get out of the way of the damn movie.
Yeah. And it's... These people in their pajamas.
Flannel pajamas.
I mean, I'm not knocking a flannel pajama. It's just... Both of them... They like Prince in this household. Like, we're not getting the same level of asshole or the same quickness of comeuppance.
Yeah.
And both of those together make it so annoying.
It's not concentrated. That's the thing. There's not enough oomph in the screenplay to really get you to that point. And, well, speaking of which, this is the end of his road.
Right. Now, what also pisses me off is that he's only aware of the situation for about 10 seconds.
Yeah. Then we're back to square one.
Right.
For like another 5 minutes.
And like this is the first moment in the movie when I'm genuinely invested in what's happening.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, here we go. The dad's gonna realize it's real.
He's gonna get everyone else involved, and then we're gonna get some movement.
Right, now we're gonna get it going. This is exciting to me. This is so far the best scene of the movie.
And then he's dead.
With a broken neck?
Yeah.
And so now, like you said, we're back to square one because all the witnesses have been eliminated.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Chucky keeps doing every time.
Nobody believes anybody. The mom is now mad. Why anybody would be upset or that this man has died, I don't know. I love the old square police cars.
Yeah. I guess we're technically still in Chicago according to the movie, but this doesn't look like Chicago city limits.
Yeah, this wouldn't be Chicago proper.
Yeah, this is like Elmhurst or something or whatever it is.
Yeah, we're not quite to like Winnetka or Highland Park, where scenes like Home Alone and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles were filmed. Those giant ass houses.
Oh yeah, most John Hughes movies.
Yeah, John Hughes is up there. Winnetka and Highland Park. Or if you're looking at them, if you're not from around here, look at a map. Winnetka, Highland Park. That's Home Alone and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Upscale places.
Upscale. This isn't quite that.
Yeah.
But it's also not in the city of Chicago, where
no chance.
Chicago police would be
responding to these calls now.
Right. I mean, we have neighborhoods in Chicago, but they're not like
They're
that.
not. No, they don't have houses of this size inside the limits of the city.
I also feel like he has a very lack of emotional reaction to anything in this movie.
Yeah.
Andy does. Unlike the first one, where it was really believable.
He was scared out of his wits and such. Again, this is one of those stupid wide-angle shots. Everything just looks kind of a comedy. It looks kind of like Tim Burton-y, to be honest with you. Maybe it was some of his later work, not so much 90s, but just kind of exaggerating images and fisheye lenses, stuff like that. It just looks weird.
And there's no point to it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, yet another one, because you can't pull the shot back and just do a proper lens on the movie. Everything's got to be this overly wide lens that just looks odd.
Maybe it's, they wanted the close-up look, but they weren't getting the full scene.
Yeah, but the fact that they use it in like 50 shots in this movie just seems weird to me. As a visual guy, I just like keep picking this up. Just doesn't feel like a lens you use mainly on a horror film.
There you go.
Yeah.
Slam it shut in that Oscar the Grouch can. I don't even remember when those were the trash cans that we used.
I don't think I ever had one of those. You always had like the plastic ones.
Yeah, the big standing upright rolling kind that I think are pretty standard across the country now.
Yeah.
I mean, I do recall at some point where everybody had their own, like you had to have your own trash can.
Yeah.
But I don't remember us or any of my neighbors ever having that kind of Oscar the Grouch style, ECW style trash can.
Sandman smacking you over the head with it.
And again, here's another instance of, like, this is a great reveal. Like, this is a great plot point.
Yeah.
And then they kind of ruin it.
Yeah.
Like, so far, I would say this is the next most exciting moment.
Yeah.
After the dad scene. And now they're coming hot and heavy, right? They're back to back.
And this is the point of the time in the film where I start connecting with this character because she stops being a jackass of sorts.
Sure.
And actually starts to become someone to worry about, and she ends up being worried about Andy and all that stuff. So.
Right. Well, she had that very stereotypical runaway teen angst,
as of
whatever.
the time, yeah.
And that archetype actually was in multiple horror films of the day.
Yeah, I'm starting to think a little Dream Warriors-esque.
Right. I'm drawn to the gal from Friday 7, the one with the necklace.
Okay.
Or even Friday 5, Brooke Bundy's daughter.
Okay, yeah, Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah. Like that kind of rebel, social outcast kind of character.
Attitudinal.
Right. Oh yeah, get the hunting knife. Or whatever, a dagger. It's like Clue.
Clue.
Available now in our archives.
Yes,
All of
indeed.
these films that we've talked about. Available now. Please go listen to us. Watch them with us.
Yes.
I mean, is that a letter opener? What is this thing? A ball of yarn.
Just laying on the steps.
They never once showed. Oh, they did show the lady as a seamstress.
Okay.
In the sewing machine. I was going to say they never showed her knitting anything. You don't do sewing machine with that big ball of yarn, by the way.
No.
You sew with a spool of thread.
Yes.
If she had been a crocheter or a knitter or something, that ball of yarn would have made more sense.
Making some of the Afghans.
Yeah. That we all know and love that are on every couch in every movie.
Yes. She's got a good look, too.
Yes. I would agree with that. Now, at this point, you don't know something's wrong with this disheveled mess.
Yeah.
Like, everything's knocked over. Like, they spent a lot of time making this scene look like they did.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
And there's nice. That's a little bit of a ripoff of Freddy, I think.
Yeah.
And here's some more great acting with an inanimate object.
Yeah.
Although this may have been the one with the feet, the robot kick feet. And he really looks orange and fleshy in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, got a little D Trump in him, huh? Now that was a cool shot.
Yeah. The sequence is really solid. I mean, we could use more of this style of filmmaking throughout the rest of the movie. It feels like a proper horror film here.
Well, yeah, because there's been no horror before this.
There's been no suspense. This whole thing. I mean, the cinematography in this whole thing's really good. It feels a lot like the first film here. The shots they're choosing, the length of editing and everything they're working. I mean, that's almost feels like this is the second unit doing this scene. It doesn't feel like the same people making this scene that made the rest of the movie.
I would agree with that. And now we're back to...
Uh-huh.
So, it's been like a year, dude. Like, are they trying to sell us on the fact that this happened immediately after the first one?
I don't think so.
Is that the idea?
I see, they don't concretely establish a timeline. Sure, you can read a synopsis online. They'll probably tell you it's been 2 years, but it's probably just because the film came out 2 years later.
Right. I don't buy that.
No. This feels like tops a couple of months.
I love that he goes right back into doll mode. I love that look.
Yeah. Power down mode. I can buy him a Chicago cop. He doesn't have the stash, but
yeah, it'd be better if he had a mustache.
Yeah, the baldness kind of sells enough. he's been walking a beat for a while. He's been on the job for 20 years.
I do like that was good. I also bad continuity though with the blood though.
Yeah, and plus the head was turned the other way when he stopped.
Also, I don't know if it was tongue in cheek or not, but he said, "What's your name, buddy?" Which may have been a little like throwback to the fact that it was supposed to be a buddy doll. Barker Brothers Warehouse. I wonder what Barker Brothers was, or what it made, or whatever. Whatever that is, it's long gone.
Yeah. It's like Trent's band. They used to have this rehearsal studio in a building that used to be like Zenith headquarters. So kind of like for like Zenith Electronics and everything, and then it just turned into a abandoned warehouse.
I think I met you there one time.
We did a film session there,
on a film shoot. We filmed a scene for something or other there.
Yeah. So I mean, you wouldn't even be able to tell. It was just like it was all concrete and brick and everything. It wouldn't look like an office building at all.
Do they still use that rehearsal space?
Oh no, they moved out a couple years ago. There was a flood and everything, so everyone got the hell out of there.
Now, this is clearly not going to hurt this doll.
Well, also, that's very unrealistic. The doll does not weigh enough to propel itself through the freaking tempered glass of the windshield.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually really hard to break a windshield.
I'm sure it is. A lot harder than a film will make you believe.
I went into a windshield circa 1988.
Oh.
And I did not go through it. I bounced right back into the seat.
Typically what happens, yeah. Needs to like a couple of logs on the highway smashing through it.
Right. I mean, that's like a bowling ball went through this windshield.
Freaking cannon.
But did they think of things like that? No. Here's another scene that's...
Like that shot there.
Yeah, that was good.
Again, that feels like the first film.
I like the lighting.
Yeah.
Even though, okay, so the whole point of the under the car shot was to make the point of view, right? He's under the car.
Ankles or something, yeah.
So why is that shot there? There's no, like...
misdirection for nothing. For a 20-second scene.
Oh, fat kids in pajamas, here we go.
Resets everything back to where you were before the car crash.
The one girl's got a Bon Jovi t-shirt on.
Why not?
I don't know if you saw that. That was hot. There's a girl with a Chucky doll t-shirt. I love that girl had a Bon Jovi shirt. I don't know if you probably don't even notice. It goes by so quick, but I know my Jovi. I mean, again, he's in one of these places. It's like Orphan Annie.
Yeah.
I mean, this lady even looks like the lady from Annie.
Yeah. Or looks like Annie 50 years later. She's had enough of this shit.
Right. She's raising orphans of her own.
Oh, yeah. She look... it's just a subtle thing, but it looks like they just darkened up under her eyes to just make her look a little more frightened or whatnot. Just... I don't know, it's the lighting and whatnot. She just had a little bit more of a shade underneath her.
Kind of an unrealistic scene.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really looking human now.
Yeah.
That's not how that copy machine works.
No.
Midwestern Bag Company. When I watched this last time, I actually started researching Midwestern Bag Company because I wanted to know where this was filmed. I couldn't find anything about Midwestern Bag.
Before the internet, no records.
Because I wanted to know like where this scene takes place, right?
It might be listed on IMDb. Let's see if I can dig
and filming locations or something?
Yeah, let's see if something pops up with the orphanage.
What? Look at that. The newspaper truck parked in front of that red car there on the left. It looked like, not a police chief, but, some sort of official. It looked like it had a Mars light on the top.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of shooting done in California for the film. So they did some Chicago location stuff and a lot of California stuff. Long Beach, South Pasadena, L.A.
Well, I would buy that the neighborhood that we were saying looks like Illinois might be Pasadena because like Halloween and all of those were shot there.
I mean, the barbed wire in this place looks like it's Chicago, to be honest with you.
Excuse me.
But
yeah, it does. And I would assume Midwestern Bag isn't a California company.
Mm-hmm. No. So. Yeah,
I mean, hell, that building looks like a fire station. Yeah. So maybe they just pulled all the units out into the road and shot right there.
Yeah, the only thing listed for Chicago was the opening shot with the railroad track that I mentioned at the front.
Right.
Canal Street.
But that was a Chicago Sun-Times truck.
Yeah,
so I imagine they wouldn't transport that all the way over to... Well, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Like, if you're already in Chicago shooting some shots...
Yeah, why not, yeah. They probably did, like, a couple weeks of location shooting out here and did stuff out west. It happens. I don't know why you expend so much cost to do that. Part of it 2,000 miles away.
We're really just wasting time right now.
Unless all the Chicago stuff was second unit stuff, and barely any of the main cast was involved. Maybe 1 or 2 actors were involved in the main cast, and everything else was just stuff like this, where you just have stunt people doing shit. The rest of these inserts are probably done like a soundstage, maybe.
Well, yeah, this shot you could do anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
This just... What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, we're really just running all over the city of Chicago.
Yeah,
for what?
And this here is severe inconvenience. They stop exactly right outside the factory. The chase ends exactly outside of the freaking factory. How convenient is that for the script?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Because Mancini had the original idea for the climax of the first film to happen inside a toy factory, so he shoot it into this script because he just wanted it, not because it made any sense for anything.
Well, it's still a good idea.
It's a good idea, just like it's...
You just have to have
overly convenient how they execute it for the car chase to stop happenstantially exactly right where the film pretty much began.
Also, warehouses don't really look like this.
No, it's all brown boxes.
Right. There'd be shrink wrap. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of a fun shot that's dizzying and you're overwhelmed, you know, sensory overload with the boxes.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, how long is it going to take you to put on this damn spell?
Exactly.
You could have done it for...
It's like the third time he's had a chance to do it, and he keeps... Even this, he's still jawing off on everything.
We're 65 minutes.
He's telling everything is... I've got to do this quick, and every time he gets a chance to do it, he's mouthing off, and he's monologuing to himself, and bullshit like that.
And then, it doesn't even work?
Because it's too late. He's already transformed all the way.
Well, why didn't we do that 70 minutes ago?
Yeah.
And just say, to hell with this story.
When he was tied up on the freaking bed, he took the time to tie him all up and climb up on there, and then after he wakes up, then he starts jawing off to him for another half a minute or whatnot, and it's just...
Right, and then...
wasting time so you can drag the damn plot out. The movie could have been over after half an hour.
I imagine a bunch of production assistants on the other side, like, jiggling the boxes.
Wobbly.
Yeah. Kind of fun with the clouds.
Yeah, it's a nice optical.
It didn't work, dude. Although at that point you don't really know until the blood drops. So I guess it's okay.
They're trying to fake you out a tad bit.
It works.
It's where they show his nose bleeding, but he has no nostrils. They're plugged up.
And every other scene, the blood's all gone.
Yeah.
There's no trace of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Yeah. This is the movie. Now there's the rest. The climax is the movie you wanted from the beginning.
Right. Okay. So
we have 15 minutes left of the movie you wanted.
In the structure of storytelling, right? You have a main character. You have an objective.
Mm-hmm.
In the classic 3-act structure.
Yeah.
Now, there is a lost point, which happens in, like, right before at the end of the second act, where you feel like there's no possible way that the character is going to overcome the circumstances. Yeah. And then you have the resolution.
Mm-hmm. Where they overcome.
Where there's a resolution. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they overcome, but at least there's resolution to your objective.
Yeah.
You either get it or you don't get it.
Yeah.
One of the two. So our objective was for the doll to take over Andy's body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just had our resolution. Mm-hmm. So now in classic storytelling structure, screenwriting structure, you have about 10 minutes to get out of there.
Yeah.
And roll credits
before
the audience is upset
twiddling
about
their thumbs, like, okay, where the fuck are you going?
This is the reason that Return of the King is so heavily panned at the end, because the minute that the ring goes into the fire, you roll credits. The story is over.
The last 7 hours,
they spend another literally 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like doing an epilogue.
Because you got another 20 characters you got to wrap up in the whole film, and it's like, okay.
Right. So, anytime that you don't really like a movie, it's probably, and it's a subconscious thing, you don't know, unless you're a screenwriter like us, that they've broken the rules of the screenplay math problem.
Yes.
And that's what's happened right here.
Yeah.
So, they really only have 5 or 10 minutes to get out of here and roll credits.
We've got another 12.
But they're going to go, I mean, beyond this. There's still another at least 10. I don't know. It needs to be...
You got to wrap it up quicker.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. And this thing just keeps going and going.
Yeah. And it has false finishes.
There's a lot of false finishes.
It's like a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, there's a lot of false.
12 false finishes. How many times can John Cena hit the FU? It's like, wrap it up already. How many more tombstones does Undertaker need to do to take him out?
I think "I'm gonna get you fuckers" is a great line. I think, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I do think that anytime somebody calls a group of other people fuckers, it's hilarious and an underused usage of the F. Look at all that blood.
Yeah.
This is more blood than we've had the entire film.
Yeah.
Man, it really takes something to rip your own hand off, doesn't it? But you're right. This is cool, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get the factory thing. It's very cartoony almost.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is for it.
I was going to say kitschy, but I don't know if that's really it either.
It's colorful and...
it's kooky.
It's childlike, right?
Yeah. I mean, and also it's not being lit or filmed like it's a horror film here. It just looks like... It looks like that. It looks like it's a child's film.
Right. Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knocking it at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this should have been...
restructured.
Yes, it should have been restructured so that this happens. We go on this goose chase, this cat and mouse.
Then he catches them, tries to do the incantation.
The incantation doesn't work.
You got 5 minutes, wrap it up.
Right. Then she kills him, roll credits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. What have you.
But they did it backwards.
Yeah.
So now it feels like... I don't know. It feels like it's too long.
Yeah. And this whole part you can cut out here with this technician coming out and trying to fix the thing. Then he gets jabbed in the eyes with the machine, which is thoroughly predictable.
And it would have been fine if it had happened before the resolution.
Right. You're wasting so much time. You've thrown the pacing completely off balance.
I didn't necessarily want to get too far in the weeds as far as screenplay structure, but that's the problem with this.
That's why it's not functioning right. It's like you've got all this building momentum. Now you're slowing it down, which means you got to ramp it back up to close it all off.
I get that they wanted to do a roller coaster ride.
Right. And you're obviously you're setting up the steam box up there, and you're setting up the hot plastic thing. It's like this is all stuff you do in quick succession at the beginning of the whole sequence, not halfway through the sequence.
The incantation needs to happen later.
Yeah. Because you have to have this building momentum. Chucky becomes more and more desperate. And that's how the chase intensifies. And you get up to that point, and then you have just the final fury and punctuation, then you're out. This is, again,
we've come up with...
slowing it down. Again, I was watching this for the first time. I know what's going to happen here.
Right.
You're just dragging it out.
You don't need a slow motion approach shot.
No, it's like, I know what you're doing. You don't need to do it. Get on with it.
The minute that they first showed the two eyeballs being poked in the very first doll,
you know what's going to happen.
You know that somebody's getting something.
And you got to introduce some throwaway character. I mean, this film's a bunch of like throwaway characters generally. I mean, the parents are fairly throwaway. They're just there to be a cog in the plot and then dispose of them when you don't need them anymore. They don't add anything substantive to the film.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the point is Chucky needs to take over Andy.
Yeah.
So
it's the entire film.
Everything with the parents is just window dressing.
It's just stalling out the plot. And it's like, how difficult is it for them to find the same way out they came back in? Same way out they came into this damn place.
Agreed. Now, this is a cool visual, and I love these visuals in the factory. Yeah. Like, I get it. I think this whole thing is, like, really great.
Yeah.
You know, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, the melty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the knife thing, the middle finger.
Yeah. You could end it right here. That'd be perfectly satisfying for me.
Yeah, it should have gone chase, failed incantation, up the conveyor,
melt
him, roll credits.
Yeah. So there's still like another 6 minutes left after this.
Well, right, because he's got to come back and then get on the little cart.
And you got to kill him a different way.
Right, so this is now...
Like, we got to milk this for every possible idea we can throw into it. And make it take up, like, a fifth of the whole movie.
I will say, when this came out, 1990, I was 10 years old. My dad took me to see it in the movie theater. And, man, did I have a great time.
I can see that,
especially because, I don't know, I'm roughly the same age as Andy.
Yeah.
And so, and things like these really cool visuals, like a pile of melted body parts that are, you know, strewn together, like, that's awesome. I love this whole factory sequence. I really do. I mean, even it's just in the wrong order.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense in... Like, if this were a 10-minute movie, like a short film that took place in the factory, it'd be friggin' awesome. Oh, right, I forgot we gotta put her in peril.
And somehow he got strung up without anyone noticing it.
So, she's in peril. What a perfect time for him to get caught. I've got you now. On the cart. You put him in incantation.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
You kick him to the curb.
You get her out of trouble. Like...
And you melt him. You're done.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What a shame. This is the end, friend. Again. Now he's getting the Joker treatment here. Vincent here has made, Alex Vincent has made the convention rounds. I always like to have, when I meet these people, I like to have them, like, autograph a quote.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I would have him write if I ever had him sign a poster. I like "This is the end, friend." I don't think I can get him to write. Chucky said that Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
It's a little long.
It is. It's a little, Doesn't fit well on a...
No.
Oh, right. And he's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Looking like a garbage pail kid.
God.
Or more like Fred Krueger. This is what does him in?
Yeah. He gets a blowy face.
I mean, tell me that's not a garbage pail kid right there.
Exactly.
And that movie came out in, what, 88?
Yeah. Hot on the heels. Goopy.
What a mess. You know how long that would take to get out of your hair?
Exactly.
I'm a hair guy. I don't know if you knew that. How the hell would they come back from that into 3? 10 years later.
Apparently Chucky's blood gets into the plastic and gets resurrected because his blood is in the plastic that they make the new dolls from.
Oh.
See what I mean by contrived?
Oh, we got to do 3.
We got to stretch this out.
We got to do 3.
Oh boy. Boy, oh boy.
I kind of like the waving marquee here.
And they spent a lot of money on props in this movie, I'll tell you that. But
I don't know what the budget was, but
art direction.
80% of the budget had to go into the last 10 minutes of this movie.
Let's see what's up with the budget here. It cost $13 million, made $35.8 million. So
oof. Okay. Well, anyway,
it just got itself above water there.
We didn't touch on it, but Dick Warlock, stunt coordinator.
Oh, there you go.
I find it interesting that we are in the middle of this remake, yet Mancini and Brad Dourif are in the process of cooking up a TV show that is going to directly compete with the remake that they don't want anything to do with.
Yeah.
We are in for some very interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
I don't really care for the look of the new one. I feel like it's one of those where they wanted to make it slightly different or updated than the original, but I mean the original screenplay had a very specific look that's what they were trying to go by.
Yeah. And
they've kind of copied that. So they're both, in the striped sweater and the overalls and the red hair and the freckles and but like how many things if you take all of that to the same, what can you do that's different?
Yeah.
So they kind of changed the shape of the face a little bit. Maybe they're going to change the voice up.
Yeah.
And then the plot is so dumb with the, computer takeover or whatever, like it's a bad robot kind of deal or whatever.
Boy. Yeah, because I haven't followed what this plot is at all.
Oh, yeah, it's basically a doll gone wrong.
Of course.
Gone rogue.
So it's no voodoo incantation
No, none
stuff.
of that.
It's
No.
It's short circuit.
Yeah. And bad. It's bad.
No, thank you.
I really have no interest in it. Now, I didn't really have any interest in any of the sequels. As we may have discussed, I don't know, on here, I've seen the third one time when it was like new on video, and then I've never seen.
Been a wash for the rest.
I've never seen any of them. Bride, Cult, Seed, Curse.
Yeah, whatever
order they're in. John Swallow. I bet that guy didn't have a good childhood.
Oh, no.
Oh, Kevin Yeager did the second unit directing. That explains so much.
That explains a lot of
things.
That
explains everything.
Why some of those scenes
everything. So any scene that
really
was good,
good,
that was Yeager. You know why? Because Yeager is the greatest.
And then when he actually got his own film to direct, it was Hellraiser Bloodline, and the Weinsteins fucked him over.
Well,
and it was directed by Alan Smithy.
But we digress. I don't even know what we were talking about.
Remake.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen any of the other ones.
A sequel, yeah.
Sequel. I mean...
And I haven't seen Bride in nearly 20 years.
And none after that?
None after that,
okay.
No.
Well, it's going to take an awful lot of convincing to get us to go beyond this point.
So,
I'm not saying no, but I don't know.
We're interspersing the Child's Play if we're going to continue with it. So we'll do some more Final Destination. See if 3 will come around. Then we'll do Texas Chainsaw stuff.
Yeah, we definitely want to get into some Chainsaw. We've got a couple other one-offs in there that we want to throw in.
So
I don't know. We got a full slate ahead.
A little sampling here and there.
Yeah. So I guess if you're watching or listening chronologically, we will see you sometime around Christmas for our next holiday adventure.
Yes. So, thanks, guys, and take care.
Bye-bye.